We return to the deep dark Unterzee. When last we were here, we had just finished visiting Nuncio. And now we delve deeper in a quiet moment, see what more the Unterzee has for us. But first, a quick check of the journal. The journal says... I don't still have someone on deck, do I? No. Okay. I thought I still had a tomb colonist for a second there. But I am heading back toward the Chapel of Lights when I make my return to London. Apologies for the sudden start, but these things happen. I don't think I need to go to the Finknottle Vortex. It sounds a little vortexy for my tastes. I'm mostly just seeing how far east I can get before getting dangerously low on fuel and supplies. That's how exploration works, right? Push everything to the edges. I discovered the Regal Complexus, the Principles of Coral. The corpse... damn thing. The corpse rainbow glow from beneath the waves, the echo of the false stars above. At the crew, and gained a secret. Welcome to Scott's Reef. There's actually just a lot of Scots here. It's not named after the person who settled it. Not like the Noctic Lobe. Something drifts face down. The crew do seem to have a voracious appetite. Food disappears almost as quickly as fuel. My terror does tend to rise. But finally, after a long journey, I've reached the Chelonate. Or Chelonate, depending on who you ask. Discovering Shableport and Portsia's Reef. I had a crew member ask me about the Chelonate. On the horizon, a sickly yellow light glimmers for a moment, then fades. Chelonate. A shell as big as a wild dream. Waves lap the slabby sides of a vast turtle shell, bigger than any cathedral. Chelonates loaf on wooden docks around the shell side, staring sullenly. Lamps hang like decorations in a festive butcher's window. All around you, the sea is rank with scraps of ancient flesh. First thing anyone should do in a new port is compile a port report. The Admiralty taught me that, and it's vital for crafting the great Unterzeenian novel. How does one express this very striking smell? The limits of meaningful expression. No matter what details you try to record, the stench creeps in around the edges of the sentences. The Chelonates watchful despite the reek. Movement among the miasmic scraps of long-abandoned monster carcass. Frequent duels where the stink is thickest. We now have a port report for the Chelonate. Someone is crying unusual wares. Follow the sound. Tales for the bone. A scrawny man squats beneath the awning of gant-colored whaleskin. "Bring me your tales," he cries. "Tales for the bone." The Scrimshaw chronicler. Bring him a tale. Pay the chronicler to inscribe a Z-story onto a hunting trophy, and you'll receive an outlandish artifact. While tempting, I don't really have the stories you're looking for today. nor the trophies. Instead, I will not take a very chancy challenge today. My terror isn't high enough. I'll allow the plausible surgeon to go ashore here. Oh, my word. Look at these scars. Look at these stains. Release me from my contract, Captain, I beg you. I've saved up enough to compensate you. A pocket full of echoes. The surgeon is as good as his word. Hands trembling, he counts out the coins and whispers a little secret he picked up back in London. He's vague about why he didn't mention it before. He collects his knives and instruments, heads into the shell, and is gone. You now have strategic information, 200 echoes, and no more plausible surgeon. Fortunately, that's about exhausting my list of things I can do. I could pick up some Stygian ivory, which is very valuable. I have no idea what this is. Mount Nomad's Heart. In the depth of the mountain lay a great egg of smooth gold. Once every hour, it pulses with slow and deadly life. Well, I've fulfilled one of my friend's longtime dreams. Perhaps it's time to be shipping off back to London after a quick scout of the eastern edge of the Unterzee. What is all this? This must be where they get their scrimshaw. Ugh, what is that? Troubling. Very, very troubling. Some sort of giant skull. Discovered Tussler's Channel. We approach the Empire of Hands. Let us clasp our souls tight, lest the Pentecost apes take them from us. Port Stanton. Discovered the Empire of Hands. A stern reminder from the Admiralty. In the name and by the power of her enduring majesty, a trade embargo and quarantine in absolute perpetuity has hereby been declared on the Empire of Hands. No ship of London is to permit aboard a Pentecost ape without express and prior permission of the Admiralty. 2. Any and all acts of spiriphage are prohibited. 3. They know what they did. Beware of stowaways. Keep a tight grip on your soul. Excerpt from Standard Naval Regulations Volume 4. The Flea-Ridden Mare. With the regulations in mind, it is a surprise to be greeted by a mere itchy monkey in a tattered yellow robe, barely walking with the help of a ceremonial staff. An official greeting. "Hello!" cries the mare in a broken voice of one not yet used to human speech. "Come, make selves at home. All souls welcome in bountiful Empire of Hands." The crew shifts uncomfortably. They know the stories. It will take more than the natural beauty of this place to make most of them risk shore leave here. I think I'm not going to sail through the Empire of Hands yet, and instead visit Port Stanton. Soul-hungry monkeys reluctantly tend this trading post, waiting for an opportunity to escape. Bloated fleas hop from ape to man and man to ape, gorging themselves without a care for which is which. I think I will Take a glance at this zeppelin they're building. Intense work is underway across the bridge. Turned away. 2 monkey guards wielding rifles and rusty bayonets block the bridge. This is not for your eyes, outsider. Avert them. Walk away. Walk faster. Good human. Ah, interesting. Comprehensive port report will take some time. Few have reason to brave the waters this far east, especially with the trade embargo. The Admiralty will pay especially well for up-to-date intelligence. But first, an audience with the Flea-Ridden mayor. He is not busy. No appointments are required. King of an empty castle. The Flea-Ridden mayor scratches himself on a chair made of crates, surrounded by boxes of long, rotten trade goods. As a 5-souled ape, he would be able to petition for membership of court. For now, the trade embargo has left him trapped on the outside. A 3-souled overseer with no talent for order. The mayor's shack. In better times, being overseer of Port Stanton gave the incumbent their pick of visitors to the Empire. Now it is as thankless a task as any to be found in the Neath. I could sell my soul to the mayor. He doesn't have much to offer, but if you aren't using it. Acquire fresh supplies. Acquire emergency fuel. Fuel? Got fuel. The Flea-Ridden mayor nods quickly. Not cheap, not free, can be arranged. London monkey okay. Put on table, look on docks, yes? But that costs 40 echoes per barrel. Well, I mean, what am I using my soul for anyway? The deal is struck. There's an official Chandler of Souls who would ordinarily preside over such things, but the mayor sees no reason why he should receive his customary fee for something that any monkey with a blackjack and a few implements can do. Even an unsold forest monkey can steal a soul and almost never cause lasting harm to the victim. Donor. He means donor, of course. Later, you awaken under rags, bruised, with a headache and feeling of loss. It is done. Your mind licks at the strange emptiness, as a tongue might a missing tooth. My Empire of Hands unlicensed spirifage quality is now 5. And I'm soulless. Shoreleave seems like a poor idea right now. What can I do sailing? Scouting trips. We'll start at the bottom. A thin pillar of greasy yet appetizing smoke rises from the only human settlement in the Empire. The Blumenbach Quarantine. The Admiralty has never stated precisely why it seeks to keep the Empire confined, though most opposition to it fades once said opposers actually encounter a Pentecost ape. They have been easy to corral, however. Though they do not lack wit, there is not an inventive bone in their hairy bodies, and no amount of stolen humanity has taught them the art of creating engines. Heartsake Island. The survivors of a pirate expedition have stolen this land, where apes are unwelcome except as an entree. The Lost Treasure Hunter. He squints at a map, muttering incoherently. North for each city the bats have brought down. He wipes his brow. Have you seen a big X on the ground by any chance? I got these 4 map pieces. It got me this far and said X would mark the spot. But I can't find an X anywhere. He looks at the map sadly. It should be here. It says. Now where am I supposed to dig? He is too busy to talk right now, but adds that he will be in the village later if you want to trade adventuring supplies. Don't try the meatballs, he warns, getting back to his search. You just don't want to do that. Approach the village. Greasy smoke and guiltily tempting aromas rise from a collection of huts around a long-beached pirate ship, and a field of pointedly impaled monkeys. An explosion almost takes off your head. Sorry about that, booms the boisterous pirate, lowering a smoking blunderbuss as bits of shattered tree rain down. New arrival, are we? Well, if you haven't got a tail, you're all right by me. He squints, momentarily suspicious. You don't have a tail, do you? Wouldn't put it past the thieving little buggers to go shaving one of their own. Wouldn't know fair play if it kicked him right up the arse. His voice is louder than his blunderbuss. The congealed meat juices in his thick beard are better not considered. It was not madness that drove these pirates to cannibalism, but years of being shipwrecked without the comfort of meat. After a while, any meat would do. I have a unique opportunity, thanks to my stay at the Chapel of Lights, to dine at the captain's table. All are welcome to share the pirates' wealth, provided they have the stomach for it. And the table manners. A feast of forbidden flesh. It is not a table, but a long plank from the pirates' old vessels, stretched along the sand and set with bone cutlery whittled from their fallen. Once grace is duly spoken, everyone dives into the bounty, snatching up thigh and heart and strips of tender meat dripping in well-crisped fat. "Not with your fingers, boy!" the boisterous pirate booms at one hungry soul with juice dripping from his lips. "We are hardly savages." He considers his pirates. "We are hardly ever savages," he corrects, exploding with a laugh that threatens to shake the table clear. Oh, I've gained a new, unaccountably peckish menace. Time to return to the boat. They seem a friendly sort and are shocked at the idea that they would ever be such poor hosts as to eat a guest. But then, they have no shortage of supplies. Back to Port Stanton. The Z is quiet. The journey is pleasingly uneventful. You have not been eaten by cannibal pirates. All things considered, a successful trip. Next, a scouting trip to Fountainhead Island. Ancient secrets peek out of the trees. Any may visit, but few penties ever bother to make the pilgrimage. A young ancient empire. The Empire of Hands is hardly as old as they pretend, but mimicry and theft infuses their whole culture. If the penties have come to think that rulers should be buried in ancient temples, then it is ancient temples they will build. It would hardly be the first time their attempts to mirror humanity have entirely missed the point. I do not have an ancientish treasure map, so I can't go on a treasure hunt, but I can visit a temple in the forest. In a clearing of parasynthetic trees looms an imposing structure of wood and stone. The vault of the first emperor. It stretches through the forest in a number of styles, each designed by the whims of the latest Pentecost apes who felt it needed to be made grander. It would take a dedicated team to break in and uncover its secrets. Perhaps you will bring one here later. For now, I return to the boat. We'll take a better equipped expedition to uncover this island's secrets and treasures. Perhaps there is someone in fallen London who might be able to help you get the treasures of this island. For now, I'll take a scouting trip to the Ash Isthmus. Neither man nor ape claims this volcanic remnant between islands. Haunted, they say. Ridiculous. Of apes and monkeys. The trip offers a little time to think on the penties. Technically, they are monkeys rather than apes, but it is not tactful to remind them of this. To their high-souled faces, the accepted name is Pentecost Apes. In private, though, the bloody monkeys is about as common. It is, one might say, an ad hominoid insult. Enter the forest. Parasynthetic vegetation thrives in the Empire of Hands' fertile soil and cool humidity. Into the woods. Wide, natural paths run between clumps of trees, softly lit by a dim green glow and the occasional glimmer of false stars through the canopy. Only the cracking of leaves and the soothing sounds of water break the serenity of this volcano-forged paradise. I don't need supplies, so I don't need to take a chancy challenge, but I can relax in a hot spring. A moment for yourself. You slip out of your itchy clothes and into the welcoming caress of hot, deep water. The salts and sweats of Zailing life melt away as you simply float, bare and free. Above, false stars glimmer bright enough to be worth wishing on. All around, the glow of the trees casts ambient calm on the silent place. on the silent peace. How long has it been since you had a moment like this? Since London? Longer? Oh, I get to take a thought. I could take no thoughts, let this moment be yours and yours alone, not wasted on worldly concerns. A thought for the Z. As mysterious and deadly as the first day you set sail on her, she remains your mistress and your kingdom. A thought for the East. Few sailors are resourceful enough to get this far, where the stories end and the myths begin. A thought for the future. Ambition brought you this far in your journey, and one way or another, ambition will end it. But have you changed on your journeys? Has it? A thought for the past. Z-captains are born and Z-captains are raised. You think back on the day you learned it was your path. Or, a thought for your lover. What is the dapper chap doing right now? Are you on his mind like he is on yours? This seems like a fairly unique opportunity. Not sure what it'll get me, though. Oh, those nights in Wolfstack docks. The noise, the passion, the delightful filth. The hot water hugs you tight as you remember his touch. Your last words before departing, the tip of his hat to both greet and say farewell. How long will it be before you feel the touch of skin on skin once again? Or awake to see that hat sitting at the end of the bed while he... Wait, what was that? It sounded like... giggling? Caught. A tiny blonde girl perches, watching, on a rock. Her innocent grin is spiced with mischievous glee. She moves like a monkey, but she giggles like an imp. At the look on your face at being caught bathing in her hot spring, and the one that floods onto it as she scoops up your clothes. A monkey foundling, shipwrecked as a baby, raised by the empire of hands. She now plays between the worlds of ape and men, neither quite one nor entirely of the other. Seems like either one has an equal chance. So I'm going to take a desperate swim. Curse these relaxed limbs. The monkey foundling makes things interesting. She waits, grinning innocently, until you emerge from the hot spring with nothing but your strategically placed hands for modesty. Before you can get close enough, though, she bolts from her crouched position and into the forest on all fours, a scampering run that turns every rock and fallen tree into a springboard. It is tempting to just walk back naked and let them stare, but damn it, you cannot return to the crew like this. Into the forest. The branches scrape against your skin, the damp mud squidges between your toes. There is no sign of the monkey foundling, but her tracks are easily followed. A forest clearing. The footprints lead here. She has not even attempted to hide them. It was as if she wants you to follow. Ouch! Your hand slaps to your singing buttock. The little stone lands in the dirt as a familiar giggle comes from above. You look to see the monkey foundling dangling upside down from a branch by her legs, a blowpipe in hand and a bag just out of your reach. Tantalizingly so. Taking a deep breath, you politely, very politely, request that she return your damned clothes now. The monkey foundling listens and gives it some thought, tapping her blowpipe against her lips as she decides. Say, please, she grins. Please. There, it is said. The monkey foundling thinks for a moment. Pretty please? Pretty please, with an imaginary cherry on top if she likes. Pretty please, she adds, stifling a giggle. The monkey foundling has never heard of cherries. Pretty please. Damn it, it is freezing. How much longer? The monkey foundling is poker-faced. Pretty please? Pretty please, your anguished plea echoes through the trees. A gift from the monkey foundling. You appear to have pretty pleased her, and she decides you deserve a reward. She fishes in her bag and generously throws you a sock. A single, solitary sock. She learns a few new swear words as she races off across the branches, near doubled up with laughter. It's not likely to succeed, but I pursue the monkey foundling. She moves effortlessly through the branches above. It's a trap. Your feet step onto the coiled rope just as the monkey foundling cuts loose the counterweight. You feel yourself flying upside down into the trees. Of course she has traps. The wider empire has no shortage of would-be invaders, man and monkey alike. She sits back and enjoys the show as you flail around trying to get free, before apparently taking pity on you. Pity, however, turns out to be, casually and without warning, cutting through the rope dangling you in the air and sending you falling back with a surprise thump to the muddy forest floor. It knocks the air out of your lungs, but you are otherwise unharmed. She pauses for a moment to make sure before her grin spreads back again and she races off to continue the game. The chase continues. The monkey foundling slides down a vine in front of you. She sticks out her tongue and scampers through a break in the trees. A marsh of terrible stench. It is a place that skunks would think twice of entering, if the Empire of Hands had such creatures. The monkey foundling, of course, is unconcerned, as much as home here as in the high branches or running the forest paths. She almost dances effortlessly across a thin fallen tree that crosses the mire, surrounded by the foulest, bubbling mud that has ever invaded your nostrils. She balances in the middle, daring you to try to follow. I think it's time to give her a taste of her own medicine. Pranks? You'll show her how they're done. You kick the tree as hard as you can. The monkey foundling's eyes widen in surprise as her balance slips. She fights to recover, but her bare feet slip on the trunk and she falls with a cut-off scream as she disappears into the foul marsh slime. For a moment, there is only silence and a few fading ripples. But then she explodes out, first gasping for air and then laughing and laughing as she splashes to shore in a noxious splatter of brown and green. She turns and salutes you, white teeth shining under all the muck. This time, she beckons before she scampers into the woods, leaving a stinky trail in her wake. Whatever game this was, you suspect you just won it. My Empire of Hands quest for dignity quality is now 50. A small hut in the middle of the forest. Is this where the monkey foundling lives? Why would she lead you here of all places? Playmate of the monkey foundling. The monkey foundling herself is nowhere to be seen, but she has left you something. It sits outside the hut, carefully placed by a large happy face drawn in the black sand. A little prize for being such a good sport. Your clothes, however, are nowhere to be seen, of course. As the monkey part of her would no doubt demand, where would be the fun in that? I got an outlandish artifact. Return to the ship. Well, there is no avoiding this any longer. An out-of-uniform experience. The crew reacts with the expected amount of sympathy to your naked return, which is to say, exactly none. By the time you board the ship, every last crew member is on hand to see and cheer, with more than a couple letting off flares as impromptu fireworks. It is many, many days before the needling ceases and you are able to give an order without first scouring it for innuendo. On the plus side, it does boost at least the rest of the ship's mood while it lasts, and you have a new treasure for your collection. You have had worse days. And finally, a scouting trip to the Sovereign Island. A wooden palace stretches across the whole island, passage to it lit by a field of tiny glim buoys. The heart of the Empire. Many boats circle the island, all keeping their distance. The one that gets closest is an extended rowboat painted in yellows, whites, and reds. 4 servant monkeys strain at the oars, while its true passenger sits in comfort behind a gauze curtain. Just for a moment an eye catches yours. but only for a moment. It would not do for a high-souled ape to see something so beneath its notice. Sovereign Island. Today the sprawling palace is called the Wild-Weald Court. Tomorrow? Who knows? The world of the Pentecost apes is one of cruel whimsy, where stolen traditions last only as long as their amusement. The gates are guarded by 2 armored monkeys that would look adorable if not for the blood on their bayonets. Humans are not welcome without an invitation or a worthy gift for the Emperor. Back to the boat. There is more sailing to be done today. The guards stare as you row away. It will take some effort to ingratiate yourself here. Perhaps if you could find something on one of the other islands. Perhaps you can use the information you've gleaned to prepare a comprehensive port report. If you have reason to brave the waters this far east, especially with the trade embargo, the Admiralty will pay especially well for up-to-date intelligence. The islands of the Empire. All of them warrant further attention. For now, though, it would be best to see if your initial discoveries can whet the interest of anyone back home. You now have 100 fragments and a comprehensive port report for the Empire of Hands. I definitely don't need shore leave right now, so that's it for Port Stanton, and time for a quick break.